of our unit can damage that limit switch and then therefore cause us a bit of hydraulic problem. So it's always a necessity to keep your work area clean. Whether you're working on a machine or a loading dock, keep your work areas clean.
What are those, the cylinders?
These are hydraulic cylinders. I want to point out, upon receipt of your unit, the first time you open it up, we want to make sure that this shoe is sitting on this lip and not this lip.
You want to make sure they're all the way back.
They are back, that's correct. On occasion, it has happened where when their unit is in the down position and the forks are underneath, sometimes can bump one out of location. Should that ever occur, 1-800-433-3833, and there's people here to tell you exactly the proper procedure for setting it back in position.
Okay. Hey, what's this here?
We got what's called a maintenance safety bar. The lift is all the way up. Flop it around and it's dropped in the way of a roller. There's one on both sides.
So what does that do for us?
I'll show you. Excuse me as I walk through. Going to lower the unit down and we come rest against it. My hand is on the down button. Solenoid coil is operational, meaning this coil is holding the valve open. Hydraulic oil pressure has dropped to 0. This now lets us do any kind of electrical or hydraulic repair without being hurt.
And also, if you want to go underneath it too?
If you have any reason to have to go underneath to remove trash or whatever, the answer is yes. Maintenance bars must be put in place.
Wow.
To allow you to do that. That way it cannot fall on you.
What happens if you have a load on the top and you have a problem? What do you do?
When you have a load on top and if you have a problem, this lift must be lowered to the ground. The product removed. Those maintenance bars are meant to hold the lift up, not an additional 5,000-pound load. Strictly only the lift.
So nothing on the top when the maintenance bars are in there.
That's
absolutely.
Correct.
Very good.
Okay, let's on down. First we got to remove the maintenance bar, so we lift the unit up.
Hey, how about that cord there?
That cord is a very important function of the machine. That's the power that comes to this unit. And the operator, must make sure that it does never entangle in between them scissor legs, because what will happen is it'll cut that cord off or at least damage it to where you will not have proper power. So we have to always make sure the cord is out of the way before you come down all the way.
See. Okay, so he's got to make sure that stays clear when it's plugged into the wall. No excess length.
Before we wanted to know what this is. It's called a dolly jack. It has to be a portability function. How do we make it work? First thing we do is we raise our machine up about a third of the way. Next thing we need to do is activate this wheel set on both sides. Flipping of this lever from either side puts an actuator to block the way of the leg set.
takes up the back end. Now what about the front?
That's where the dollar back comes in. But before we do it, now we unplug our machine. Take the dolly jack, and as you notice, it's got a pin on it. This pin goes in that hole. We are now off the floor on both ends, allowing us to go anywhere we wish to go.
That moves pretty good.
Takes more than one man for proper movement.
Yeah.
People move it.
Very good though, it moves pretty well all by itself there.
Well, depending upon floor surface, will require usually 2 people for
Yep. Seems that way, yep.
prevention of, let's say, sore backs or sore muscles.
Puts it in place.
Position, you disengage the dolly jack. Take it. Drop the tongue. Drop your ramp plates. We're now back in operation.
I would say that dropping those gates would be a bad thing to do without holding on to that chain.
That's
Somebody
correct.
get hurt. Got to be emphasized that. Sure.
That's how you get hurt.
Yep.
That hurts.
Okay. So now we got to put it back down on the ground.
Right. We're done through moving it, now we can hook our power back up. We got to disengage the wheels on the other end here. So what do? We raise the scissor legs up until we back away from our actuator. Swing the actuator back out of the way. Keep your cord out of the way. You're ready to go down.
When the lift's not in use, what's the best way to store it? What should it be kept, down or up?
Always in the down position. With the push button control, power cord removed. It can be placed inside storage. Close the door. And you take the key and you can lock it and go home.
Very good. Okay. So we just have really normal things to be safe about. Make sure those chains are up. Don't drop that thing on your toe. Use that chain, hold on to it. If you're going to move the table, you want to have 2 people help you, at least.
Make sure you place it in the up position so you can see the actuator and the wheels, etc.
Well, I think we covered all the bases. If we have to add more to this, we will.